What if I told you that in just 14 days without sugar, your face could look slimmer, your energy could double, your belly fat could start melting, your brain could think clearer, and your body could actually begin repairing itself? Sounds impossible? But according to modern metabolic science, your body starts changing within hours after cutting added sugar and refined carbs. And the scary part? Most people are unknowingly eating the equivalent of over 60 teaspoons of sugar every single day through bread, pasta, cereals, soda, sauces, snacks, and processed foods. Today, we're going to break down exactly what happens inside your body when you quit sugar for 14 days, day by day, backed by real science. And trust me, what happens to your liver, brain, skin, heart, and belly fat will shock you. Sugar is no longer just a treat. For millions of people, it has become the main fuel source running the body. The average modern diet keeps blood sugar elevated almost all day long. Breakfast cereal, toast, juice, snacks, coffee drinks, pasta, desserts, even healthy foods like granola bars, flavored yogurt, smoothies, and whole wheat bread can spike blood sugar dramatically. And when sugar constantly stays high, your body starts entering a dangerous metabolic state called insulin resistance. That's the hidden root behind belly fat, fatty liver, high, blood pressure, diabetes, brain fog, fatigue, inflammation, cravings, and accelerated aging. But here's the good news: the human body is incredibly adaptive. The moment sugar intake drops, your body immediately begins shifting into repair mode. So let's walk through exactly what happens during those first 14 days. Day 1 per 3, the sugar withdrawal phase. The first thing you'll notice is cravings, and not small cravings. Your brain may scream for soda, bread, candy, chocolate, chips, or late night snacks. Why? Because sugar activates dopamine pathways in the brain, the same reward circuits involved in addictive behaviors. Research shows sugar stimulates the nucleus accumbens, a major pleasure center in the brain. Every sugary snack gives your brain a quick dopamine hit, but when you suddenly stop sugar, your brain temporarily feels deprived. That's why many people experience irritability, headaches, fatigue, mood swings, brain fog, hunger spikes. But here's what's really happening behind the scenes. Your insulin levels are finally starting to drop, and that changes everything. Insulin is the hormone that stores energy. When insulin stays high, your body stays in fat storage mode. But when insulin falls, your body finally gets access to stored body fat for fuel. That's the metabolic switch your body has been waiting for, and this usually begins around day 2 or 3. Day 4 or 5, your body switches to fat burning. Around this phase, something incredible happens. Your body starts transitioning from sugar burning to fat burning. This is one of the most important metabolic shifts in human biology. Normally, your body burns glucose first because it's quick fuel. But without constant sugar intake, glucose reserves begin running low, so the body turns to stored fat. Your liver begins breaking fat down into molecules called ketones. Ketones become a powerful alternative fuel source, especially for the brain. And unlike sugar, fat provides steady energy. No crashes, no spikes, no constant hunger. This is why many people suddenly notice more stable energy, fewer cravings, better focus, less hunger between meals. Here's something fascinating. An average adult stores only about 1,500 to 2,000 calories of glycogen, stored sugar. But even a relatively lean person may carry over 80,000 to 100,000 calories of stored body fat. That means your body has been sitting on a massive fuel tank the entire time. But high sugar intake keeps locking that fuel away. Once insulin drops, the doors finally open. Day 5 to 7, rapid water weight loss. This is usually when people start seeing dramatic changes in the mirror, especially around the face, belly, waistline, legs. And there's a scientific reason why. Stored sugar in the body, called glycogen, binds water. For every gram of glycogen stored, your body stores roughly 3 to 4 grams of water. So when glycogen levels drop, the body releases large amounts of retained water. This is why many people lose several pounds during the first week. And suddenly, rings fit better, the stomach looks flatter, puffiness decreases, the face looks slimmer. People often think they're losing only fat, but a big part initially is inflammation and water retention disappearing, that bloated appearance around the cheeks and eyes, often linked to excess insulin and chronic inflammation. And when sugar drops, inflammation starts dropping too. Your brain starts changing. One of the most powerful changes after quitting sugar happens in the brain. Most people expect weight loss, but they don't expect mental clarity. High sugar intake causes repeated blood sugar spikes and crashes. This roller coaster creates brain fog, poor concentration, fatigue, mood swings. But once blood sugar stabilizes, the brain finally receives a more consistent energy supply, and ketones may play a major role here. Research suggests ketones can provide cleaner and more efficient fuel for brain cells. This is why many people report sharper thinking, better focus, improved memory, increased motivation. Some even describe it as waking up mentally. And there's another major effect. Inflammation inside the brain may begin decreasing. Chronic high sugar intake has been linked to neuroinflammation, oxidative stress, and even increased risk of cognitive decline. In fact, some researchers now refer to Alzheimer's disease as type 3 diabetes because of its strong connection with insulin resistance in the brain. So when you reduce sugar, you may also reduce stress on the brain itself. Your liver begins recovering. Now let's talk about one of the hardest working organs in your body, your liver. When you consume excessive sugar, especially fructose from soda, juice, candy, syrups, and processed foods, the liver gets overloaded. Unlike glucose, fructose is primarily processed in the liver, and when too much arrives too quickly, the liver converts much of it into fat. Over time, this can lead to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Today, fatty liver affects millions of people, even teenagers, and many don't even know they have it. But here's the amazing part. Studies show reducing sugar intake can rapidly decrease liver fat. In some people, improvements begin within days, as insulin levels drop and fat burning increases. The liver starts unloading stored fat, and this matters because the liver controls so many critical functions: blood sugar regulation, hormone balance, cholesterol production, detoxification, energy metabolism. A healthier liver means a healthier body. Your heart and blood vessels benefit. Most people associate sugar with diabetes, but sugar also has a massive effect on the cardiovascular system. Chronically elevated glucose damages blood vessels through oxidative stress and inflammation. Over time, arteries become stiffer, narrower, more inflamed. This raises the risk of high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke. And here's something many people don't realize. Excess sugar can also increase triglycerides and contribute to abnormal cholesterol patterns. When insulin stays elevated, the liver produces more fat particles in the bloodstream. But when sugar intake falls, many people experience improvements in blood pressure, triglycerides, HDL cholesterol, inflammation markers, blood flow improves, circulation improves, and the heart doesn't have to work as hard. Your skin starts looking younger. Now let's talk about something people notice very quickly: the skin. Sugar accelerates aging through a process called glycation. This happens when excess sugar molecules bind to proteins like collagen and elastin. These proteins keep skin firm and youthful, but glycation damages them. Over time, this contributes to wrinkles, sagging, dull skin, puffiness. High sugar intake also increases inflammation and oil production, worsening acne and redness. But after cutting sugar, many people notice clearer skin, reduced acne, less redness, better skin tone, reduced puffiness around the eyes. Your skin often reflects what's happening internally, and lower inflammation usually shows up visibly on the face. Your sleep improves. One of the most underrated benefits of quitting sugar is better sleep. High blood sugar and insulin spikes can interfere with sleep hormones and nighttime recovery. Many people also wake up repeatedly during the night to urinate. Why? Because excess sugar pulls water into the urine. This forces the kidneys to work harder, but once blood sugar stabilizes, nighttime urination often decreases dramatically. people start sleeping deeper and longer, and better sleep creates another powerful cycle. Better sleep improves insulin sensitivity. Better insulin sensitivity reduces cravings. Reduced cravings make it easier to avoid sugar. The body begins working with you instead of against you. Your cravings begin disappearing. This is the part many people find unbelievable. After about 10 to 14 days, sugar cravings often drop dramatically. Foods that once seemed impossible to resist suddenly lose their power. Why? Because your blood sugar becomes more stable. When blood sugar constantly spikes and crashes, the brain keeps demanding quick energy. That creates the craving cycle. But stable blood sugar means stable appetite. And once your body becomes efficient at burning fat, you no longer depend on constant snacking for energy. This is why many people naturally begin eating less without even trying. Not because they're forcing themselves, but because their metabolism is finally functioning correctly. The truth about insulin resistance. Now we arrive at the most important part of this entire discussion. Insulin resistance. This is the hidden driver behind many chronic diseases today. Here's how it works. Every time you eat sugar or refined carbs, insulin rises. Insulin's job is to move glucose out of the blood and into cells. But when insulin stays elevated constantly, cells begin resisting its signal. The body responds by producing even more insulin. And over time, this creates a vicious cycle. Higher insulin, more fat storage, more inflammation, worsening insulin resistance. Eventually, the pancreas struggles to keep up. Blood sugar rises. And that's when prediabetes and type 2 diabetes appear. But insulin resistance affects far more than blood sugar. It's strongly connected to belly fat, fatty liver, high blood pressure, PCOS, brain fog, heart disease, chronic inflammation. This is why reducing sugar can be so powerful. Because you're not just eating healthier, you're directly lowering the hormonal signal driving metabolic dysfunction. What most people get wrong. Many people think quitting sugar means eating diet foods, but that's often the mistake. Low-fat processed foods are frequently loaded with hidden sugars. Even foods marketed as healthy can contain massive amounts of carbohydrates. Things like breakfast cereal, granola fruit juice, flavored yogurt, sports drinks, protein bars, whole wheat bread. The key is focusing on real whole foods that stabilize blood sugar. Foods like eggs, fish, meat, vegetables, nuts, avocados, olive oil, Greek yogurt, cheese. Protein and healthy fats help keep insulin lower and reduce cravings naturally. Final message. So what really happens when you quit sugar for 14 days? Your body starts transforming. Inflammation drops, water retention decreases, fat burning increases, energy stabilizes, the brain becomes sharper, sleep improves, cravings fade, and your metabolism finally begins working the way it was designed to. And the best part? This can begin in just days, not months, not years. The human body has an incredible ability to heal when you stop overwhelming it with constant sugar. So maybe the question isn't, what happens if you quit sugar? Maybe the real question is, how much better could your body feel if you finally gave it a break? If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. And for the next video, we're going to reveal the shocking truth about the 10 foods secretly destroying your metabolism after age 50. You do not want to miss that.